boy, the nonprofit sector connector coming at you from where else? 2 flights up from where else but the kitchen, where I get my coffee from time to time. Although I do run on Dunkin'. We've talked about that before. Tommy D runs on Dunkin'. But I do cheers. I'm like, actually, you know what? Shout out to Cumberland Farms, Tammy. I was this morning. I had to run to an appointment and I stopped at Cumberland Farms and I went to pay for my coffee and the lady said it's free. And I said, well, thank you very much. And she said, well, by the way, this show's Philanthropy and Focus, everybody. But she's like, she says, coffee's free. And I said, well, I don't understand. I said, is it always free? And she said, always on Fridays. So now I understand why I had a double park in that lot on a Friday morning. They had like 30 spots. So anyway, good morning, Tammy. I'll tell people about the show. Let me say hello to you. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing incredible. I'm really excited for today. I have a lot to say. So let me say a bunch of stuff and then we will get into what we need to talk about today. So first of all, the show is Philanthropy and Focus, everybody. I am the nonprofit sector connector. I've given myself that title, which really was not only given it to myself, it gave myself a lot of responsibility, which maybe we'll talk about some of that. I mean, just this morning, I'm texting with 2 different friends of mine from nonprofit organizations that there's an opportunity for some collaboration. And we were texting and I got to make a phone call happen. So, and you know, Tammy and I had a phone call yesterday with something that could be beneficial for Girl Scouts of Suffolk County, which Girl Scouts of Suffolk County is my guest. Tammy Severino is my guest on the program this morning. You guys know this. You know how passionate I am about the nonprofit sector. You know how important it is to me. Nonprofits change our world each and every day. And if it wasn't for the leaders and the teams in these nonprofit organizations, many of the services that our communities depend on just don't happen. They don't exist. So that's my deal, is 2 things every week, is to help these folks tell the story and amplify their message. So for the reach that I have, whatever it is, how big it might be or how big it's growing into, I want to help people understand about nonprofits. One last probably 2 or 3 more shout outs, but yesterday I went into New York City and I went to an event for the Institute for Nonprofit Practice, which is some coursework that I did just last year, finished in June of this year, 22. And I got to meet with some of my folks from my cohort, actually got to meet with some of the alumni from the past. Met my friend Melissa McLeod, who we never met in person, but she's the director of development with Harlem Grown, which has farms around New York City, and really helping urban farming and really helping the communities. And she's actually, her organization is a finalist in the New York City Imagine Award. So we met through that, and it turns out we both went to INP at separate times. I left that event, headed uptown to the Museum of the City of New York, which is an incredible place. I want to go back when it's open because a lot of what we could have saw was shut down. But my friend Kylie McGrain from A Moment of Magic, incredibly special organization. She's been on the program. I love Kylie. I love what the organization does. And I wore a tuxedo because it's a black tie sort of thing. So I like to wear a tuxedo sometimes. If you want to see the pictures, text me. I'd love to show you the pictures. And that organization, they go into the schools, they go into hospitals and meet with children who are sick, ill children, and they're dressed as princesses and superheroes, and they visit with these children. They play games, and such a special organization that Kylie founded as an undergrad in Mount St. Vincent's. I guess she's 27 years old now or something like that. And you know, I looked at Tammy, it's one of these things, like, we're nonprofit people, you and me, but I looked at the days I'm going to that gala 20 years from now. And, you know, this woman will be celebrating an organization that she created as a young person. So, I mean, this is the stuff we do. This is the organizations that I hang with. All right, without further ado, this morning I left my house early to go pick up this t-shirt, everybody. So if you're watching on Facebook, check it out. My t-shirt says, "Man enough to be a Girl Scout." I don't have any of those t-shirts that say like girl dad, although maybe I because I am a boy dad too. I got both. I got 2 and 2. No full house, just 2 pair. I always say, you know, full house beats 2 pair, but we're staying pat with 2 pair. That's the end of that. Tammy, you and I know each other for such a long time. There's so many things I could read about Girl Scouts. You've been a Girl Scout forever, almost your whole life, right? So we'll get into that. But I do want to just a couple things I want to say before we even jump in. It's like, here's what I wanted to say. I looked this up. I'm looking it up again. Girl Guides of America was founded March 12th, 1912 by Juliet Daisy Gordon Lowe, Savannah, Georgia, right? Then almost simultaneously, the Girl Guides that there was another organization, right, that
Yep.
that merged with Daisy Gordon Lowe's organization, and that became the Girl Scouts of the United States. These two organizations merged together. But I mean, what the history of this? This is a 110-year-old organization.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I want you to I want to hear from you today. I want to know your journey. I always ask my friends about what brought you to nonprofit. You and I know each other way before, you were the CEO and are now the CEO of Girl Scouts. So I know you have a lot of experience, background in nonprofit, consulting with nonprofits around storytelling and grant writing and the whole thing. So there's really a great arc that we can go through. But I want to start where you want to start. And it might be a 6-year-old girl joining Girl Scouts and, really becoming part of a life of service. Because I will say, I'm trying to find the slogan here. Girl Scouts prepares girls to empower themselves and promotes compassion, courage, confidence, character, leadership, entrepreneurship, and active citizenship through activities such as camping, community service, learning first aid, and earning badges by acquiring practical skills. That's a lot.
yeah.
So let's start at the beginning for me. Let's tell the story. We got time.
Sure. Well, I was in first grade in Brooklyn, a new friend who had just moved in the building next to mine. Her mom became our Girl Scout leader. She and I actually reconnected. We bumped into each other years ago and then reconnected just I guess in 21 last year. We got together for dinner with our husbands and she shared photos with me that show my mother's name, my maiden name, my phone number and address where I grew up as a little girl. It was the roster that her mother filled out of all the girls who were going to be part of our troop. And I'm still friends with most of them today. We're scattered around the United States and we're all doing really powerful things to benefit our communities and business and really in a way that I think makes a mark. That when you look back and you can say my life was fulfilled and fulfilling. We're all in that space. And I don't think when you're 6 and you're going to see a historic property in Brooklyn as a field trip, that you realize the bonds that you are creating. We Girl Scouts provides programs in such an age-appropriate, friend-inducing type of space. It's a safe space that girls can talk about whatever it is they want to talk about, so that those connections form deep. And it's really a remarkable way for girls to find themselves in a girl-only space where they can test the waters on things that perhaps they would have been too nervous to try elsewhere. But it's knowing that everybody in that troop has your back. Or if you're an individual, if you're a Juliet and you're doing your Girl Scout experience as a solo, or if we don't have a volunteer structure in a particular school district and we're doing it in the schools or in a community center, the girls who are part of your program week in, week out, that you're all sharing that opportunity of trying and exploring and feeling your way and finding out who you are. And whoever you are is okay. So if you want to go into something that is not traditionally female, have at it. But if you want something that is, that's great too, so that you can really be the person you're meant to be. And so now when I look back and I think, wow, we did that when I was 8, we did that when I was 10 in our troop. I'm really so grateful for the girls that I met, the women they are today, and the fact that they're still in my life. For my girlfriend's mom, who was our troop leader all those years, corralling us and then letting us make the decisions as we got old enough to do so. And I was my older daughter's Girl Scout leader for several years. I've been the cookie mom for my younger one, for her troop since kindergarten, and watching her troop leader guide them, encourage them, and watch as they grew to make their own decisions now that they're a little bit older. So it's an exciting piece to watch. So I'm very proud that I went from Girl Scout to troop leader to a board member for Girl Scouts of Suffolk. Then I became cookie mom, so a title I still bear. And then I was asked, we had a very long-term CEO who retired, and I was asked to step in shortly thereafter. And we're really reframing our council to position us to really move forward. COVID shifted so many things for so many organizations. We're really proud of the fact that we executed hundreds of programs virtually for girls, not just from Suffolk. We had girls as far as California logging into our programs, and we offered them at no charge for nearly the entirety of the pandemic, so that girls could have that connection with other girls. And now we're getting back to having camps. We're about to launch camping once again on our properties, and we're just excited for girls to have that robust experience again.
I love this. I mean, this is so cool. And I made a cute video earlier in the week, and I said, right, I saw it was like, let me just look at my picture here. It was, I found like almost like a legend, like a map. I was like, Samoas, Thin Mints, Tagalongs,
I don't get to ask you what your favorite cookie is because I saw the video, so I know.
Tagalongs, Tammy, those Tagalongs are bad news for me. Forget about it.
Yes, that's it. That's an open the box, eat the box.
And you know what? Look, I'm sure if I look at the serving size on a box of Tagalongs, it is not the entire box. It's 2 cookies. Okay. So I have I don't know how many are in there. Maybe there's a couple dozen cookies in there, maybe 20. So I have 10 servings, because they're so good and you can scrape the chocolate. I don't even, whatever, everybody used to have those commercials. How do you eat a Reese's? I could school everybody on how to eat a tagalong the right way, but those are a good cookie. I will tell you about this. The s'mores. Now, this was not supposed to be about cookies, but the s'mores, I like sweet, but those cookies are sweet. They're really, really sweet. They're a new cookie, and they sell people because I saw it. So I would not call myself a cookie dad. I'm a dad who eats cookies. So you're a cookie mom, but I've been out in front of the supermarket helping out when I can. And I love watching, especially, so my older daughter's not a scout, a Girl Scout. My younger daughter is, she's digging it. And, the stuff that you said, I really want to hit on this stuff because I think this is lifelong opportunities, lifelong habits that you're creating, trying to do things, exploring, finding out who you are, decision-making. That's why I say cutely, kind of tongue in cheek, it's not just about the cookies, but because it isn't. It's about so much more. It's about empowerment. It's about development. I know we're going to talk about STEM. It's about camping. It's about exposing these young ladies to different things that they would not even know exist, and I have to guess that you've spoken at our friend, Beth Buckheister's career day over the years, right? You do some work with Beth, right? You're connected with Beth. So I just think a lot of what our friend Beth has an organization called Career Day Inc. here on Long Island. Everybody's been on the program, probably due to come back on the show. And I love that Career Day thing because it's bringing in an opportunity for young people who might not know that. A couple different things. May not see someone that looks like them doing a certain job, so they might not see themselves in that role, whether it be man, women, or person of color. They're just not seeing that. So there's certainly that exposure point, and I think that's what I'm feeling from what you're saying as well. Is it's exposing these young people to something that they've never seen before and are not aware of. And empowerment is such a great word. And our other common friend Renee Daniel Flagler, ED, Executive Director of Girls Inc. of Long Island. Same sorts of conversations, exposing these girls, giving them empowerment, and something you said, we're supposed to go to break, but I'm going to hold off for a second because something else is about this whole thing where you talk about girls only. Is there something very empowering or we're comfortable where they're, they can just do whatever? I went to an all boys public high school. I went to an all boys Catholic high school. I went to a public school before that. And I think there's a different thing, I'm sure, I know for a fact there's certain things we lost out on, certain, just connections and whatnot, but there's also a different feel to it. So do you feel when the girls are alone, and there's not that the boy influence. It's
Yes, we have research that's been done through GSUSA, where it is shown that girls who are in a girl-only environment are more willing to take risks and take chances into something they don't have a background with. They are more likely to answer a really hard math problem that they have the answer to, but they will defer in a co-ed situation. They will feel that empowerment so that when they go back into the co-ed situation, they know that they can
well,
do
they've already leveled up. They've already
Yes.
gotten that. They got that confidence, right? We are going to take a quick break, but they've gotten to that point where it's I love that. Is so freaking cool. All right, we'll be right back. It is, because I see it. I understand conceptually like why that would work, because for all these reasons, historically and gender, whatever, like, you know, people hold themselves back in certain situations to the point of answering the math question or whatever. I mean, isn't there so much research and history of, you know, where people will act less intelligent than they are to sort of fit in because they don't want to stand out, and right, there's all this kind of stuff, right? It's difficult being a human being, man. It ain't easy. It ain't easy.
No, complicated.
No, it's also a lot of fun. This is Philanthropy in Focus. Tammy Severino, CEO of Girl Scouts of Suffolk County, is with me. We'll be right back.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant. And on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays, 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you on edge? Hey, we live in challenging, edgy times, so let's lean in. I'm Sandra Bargman, the host of The Edge of Every Day, which airs each Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc. Tune in live with me and my friends and colleagues as we share stories and perspectives about pushing boundaries and exploring our rough edges. That's The Edge of Every Day on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
That's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to cut through the static. Shh, that white noise, that static, cut through it, baby. Join me in the attic every Friday morning, 10 a.m. for certainly my favorite hour of the week, Philanthropy in Focus. Shout out to Mick Collins and shout out to my buddy, Nyrikia White. Because, you know, if that's how I got this t-shirt. Nyrikia, we got together real quick this morning, just a quick t-shirt grab because I had to get the shirt for the show because I wanted it and she hooked it up. So, and it's funny, like if it wasn't for what, you know, the work, I met Nyrikia when she was over at Girls Inc. of Long Island. And, you know, when Nyrikia went over to Little Flower, she reached out to me one day and was like, Tommy D, I saw you doing something with the diapers and Heather Edwards and the Allied Foundation, the whole thing. She's like, I think there's something there that we can benefit from what Tommy D would say, like a strategic alliance, a connection. And then as a result of that, I, you know, like nothing happens without the connection. And it's kind of been my song there, Tammy, you know, nonprofits need connections. Nothing happens without that connection. And Nyrikia and I had the phone call. I literally remember I was like sitting on my couch downstairs. I left the attic for a bit and I was on the couch and we were chatting it up. And then I went out and met a lot of the team at Little Flower, and I've done a couple of days of service out there, and they are an incredibly special organization. And then I got a call from Little Flower and they said, would you play in our golf outing? And could you play with Dr. Sandra Lindsay, who is an incredible, become a celebrity now, but somebody that I am not a great golfer, but I was able to teach Dr. Sandra Lindsay how to play a bit of golf on the golf course at the Little Flower golf outing just last month. So let's talk about that. Golf. Before we talk about it, there's a couple comments I want to make. But thank you, Nairika. Hundreds of virtual events. I want to talk about that. You mentioned California. I want to say something. Last night, I met a couple of these young ladies who are college, are undergrads in college who are working in the program at a Moment of Magic, Tammy. And they said, I kept asking them as we were chatting, and I'm networking because I'm always networking. And they said, are you on LinkedIn yet? Are you out there building your professional network yet? Are you talking about this stuff yet? So I wonder, before we get into that, I want to ask you about golf. Like, do you get the girls into golf? I want to talk about them building their networks because I think it's important. But listen to these names: Queen Latifah, Meghan Markle, Gwyneth Paltrow, Carrie Fisher, and her mom, Debbie Reynolds, Mariah Carey, Laura Bush, Hillary Clinton, if I didn't say Hillary Clinton yet, Dakota Fanning. I don't know who Abigail Breslin is, but Abigail Breslin, Katie Couric, Reese Witherspoon, and Kristen Bell. All Girl Scouts. All Girl Scouts. You know that already, but the people didn't, but all Girl Scouts, right?
Can I add a few?
Please do, because I was going through a quick list. Yeah.
60% of the women, actually, I think it's 58% of the women serving in the Congress, in the U.S. Congress, whether the Senate or the House. Queen Elizabeth, who just passed, so of memory, she was a Girl Guide, which is, we're part of the World Association of Girl Scouts and Girl Guides. And that is Girl Scouting in all of the other nations outside of the US. And so we have a remarkable list of alums because they go on to do wonderful things. So their names rise with the cream, and it's a testament to the leadership, the skills, the confidence build that Girl Scouts provides, and the friendship. So you're a Girl Scout, you bring your friend along, so that she benefits from it as well. And there's a sisterhood about it. So the highest awards programs that we do, it starts with our bronze award, which is done as a group. So the troop often does that as one large project, or sometimes they'll split into two. Our silver award, which you earn, you complete that when you're going into high school. So by the end of September of your freshman year, you would have completed your silver, either in a group or as an individual. And then you have the gold award, which is no easy task to complete. It's a remarkable number of hours. You're solving a root problem in the community.
Give me an example. Yeah, give me an example, because I could tell that there's no pushover here. This is like somebody has to, either as a group or as an individual, has to really do something to make an impact. Yes. Again, not to compare, but just because what's coming to me, I was not a Boy Scout or a Cub Scout, but I understand, Eagle Scout is a big deal for in the boys.
That is the highest award for a Boy Scout.
So
Gold Award is the highest award for a Girl Scout. It's an individual award that cannot be done as a group.
Okay. You have to have done something. I hear oh, Johnny just did his Eagle Scout project by building a barn at this farm on a nonprofit or something like that. So tell me about what that looks like for this young lady to do the work.
So for a Girl Scout who is going for her Gold Award, she is going to consider a root problem in the community that she wants to address. That could be homelessness. It could be the crisis of mental health. It could be related to climate change. It could be related to vaccinations. It could be related to any number of, so childhood illnesses, any number of problems that are out there. It could be social injustice. So she's going to pick a problem that speaks to her heart.
And how long
something
does she
matters
have
to her.
to come up with her plan and the implementation of her plan and the connection?
She has all through high school. She has to go through a journey, which is an age appropriate experience that earns patch, and that is providing a certain amount of knowledge base. There's a few to choose from, and she'll choose that journey, and she completes that. And then she has to consider which project she would like to do. There's documentation she has to put together as a proposal for that project. And then she would bring that to us. We would tell her where something she might need to shore up, or no, this is great. And then she's assigned a volunteer mentor from Girl Scouts. Our volunteers are just the most amazing.
Let me stop you 1 second, of course,
Mhm.
but I want to hear about volunteers and mentors, but I want to understand that structurally. So because I see, again, not until this conversation with you, I see, the young girls, the cookies, them getting, my wife will take them, they're going to do a trip, we're going to go to the beach, we're going to do this event, we're going to do that event, right? My wife, I guess, is co-troop leader with, is that how they say?
Co-leader.
Yeah, one of these with this group of girls. And now you're getting into a different level, what you're
Yes.
talking about, right? So now the council is involved, and tell me structurally the council, what that actually represents, like what's it like, your employees, what they do, what their roles, and how they interact with the girls. Because this sounds like this is not, again, it's age appropriate. So now these girls have elevated. So it's not just let's clean up the beach. And I don't mean just clean up the beach, but it's not that anymore. It's a different, we've gone to a different level.
Yeah, this is a project that has tremendous forethought, planning, structure. It's, like I said, it's addressing a root cause, whereas within the silver spectrum, we're looking at things that are sustainable. The project has to live on beyond the young woman. So let's say her project's related to literacy. So she has to create a project that is going to address a literacy issue. Now that might be within her town or her school. It might be county-wide. So our footprint is Suffolk County. We cover everything out to the end of the Forks and up to the Nassau line. And then we hand it off to our sister council in Nassau County. We're two of, I believe, 3 single county councils in the entire country. There are some councils that cover an entire state or clusters of different states. There are 111 councils in the United States covering all 50 states.
And we have, and Nassau and Suffolk are alone. And then what about the boroughs? How does that shake out?
The 5 boroughs are one council. That's Greater New York. They do just remarkable work over there. They're covering a tremendous number of girls, and they're providing amazing programs for the girls in those communities. So we have all the CEOs from throughout New York and a few of the surrounding states come together. We meet once monthly and we talk about different things that are going on, hand off ideas to each other, and really try and help lift each other. And I'm very grateful as a very new CEO, I'm really grateful for that support that I get from them.
100%. I mean, listen, we stand on was it Lincoln? We stand on the shoulders of giants, right? So, I mean, it's all about, look, success leaves clues. It's out there, right?
Yes.
Let's get together. The answer's in the room. It just might not be inside of your head. It's in that universal consciousness. So let's get from the others. So I do want you to talk about the mentoring. We do have to take another break, but
Sure.
Mentoring. And I obviously want to, how many girls does your council serve in Suffolk County?
We're serving right now about 12,000, and we are growing. Like this year, we're already about 14% over last year. So know that we're going to be in a growth phase probably for the next 3 to 5 years at least.
So you happen to know, I hate to put you on the spot, but do you happen to know the total addressable number of girls that could be impacted by this? I mean, if you
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, in Suffolk County, there's over 125,000 girls. So it's a little over that number. And so we are trying to reach out to more and more of them. Of course, looking also at more volunteers, because the more volunteers we have serving in that troop model, the more girls in a given school district we can serve. But for those where we don't have access to the volunteers, we're going into their communities via their schools, via their community centers, because we want to make sure that we can reach every girl who wants a Girl Scouting experience.
All right, before we go to a break, let's just say somebody's listening to this program and says, oh man, I thought about Girl Scouts. I'd love to get my daughter involved, or I'd like to run a troop and have my daughter involved. How do they go about doing that?
They can either call our office at 631-543-6622 and ask for the membership department, and they will get to speak to one of our specialists who can help them go through that whole process. Or they can go to our website, https www.gssc, that's Girl Scouts Suffolk County .us, and then go into the section for joining and volunteering, and it'll show you exactly what to do. And if you get stuck, just call and we'll help you through that.
Good. So call that number. We'll put it up again. We'll share it. Mick Collins already shared it out there. Nyriki is on Facebook too. So let's just say, before we go to break, if we had somebody who said, hey, I want to write a check to Girl Scouts of Suffolk County, who would they call for that?
They can call that same number and ask for the development department. They will get Nyriki, who has just joined us, Nyriki White, as our director of fund development. And we're so excited to have her on board. Or they can go to. That's
a big, you know this, I don't need to tell you.
I know, that's a big win. I'm very happy about it.
Yep, no doubt.
And then the alternative is they can go right to that same website and click on the donate button. And there's a form they can fill out and they can make a contribution right on the spot.
All right, and it's been shared on Facebook. And if you're not seeing it on Facebook, here's what it is: www.gssc.us. Right?
Yep.
US. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back. 90 seconds.
Thank you.
Are you passionate about the conversation around racism? Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. TLC, host of the Dismantle Racism Show, which airs every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc. Join me and my amazing guests as we discuss ways to uncover, dismantle, and eradicate racism. That's Thursdays at 11 o'clock a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a small business trying to navigate the COVID-19 related employment laws? Hello, I'm Eric Sauver, employment law, business law attorney, and host of the new radio show, Employment Law Today. On my show, we'll have guests to discuss the common employment law challenges business owners are facing during these trying times. Tune in on Tuesday evenings from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy and Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
So listen, you gotta love technology because it's so funny. All right, Tammy, our friend Nyriki wants to take a screenshot, a picture of us smiling. So let's do it now, Nyriki.
Okay.
Gotta love it. Text messages. All right, hope you got it. If you didn't, text me again. All right, so look, I had forgotten this. I'm on LinkedIn checking things out, just your background and stuff again. And I'm like, I had forgotten that you were involved with Best Buddies International in the past. I sit on the New York City, New York Long Island, New York City advisory board for Best Buddies. Love Best Buddies. Our family foundation, Lindy Lou Foundation, has done some cool stuff with them, opening up school programs on Long Island. I want to just go before I want to jump into your camps. I want to jump into the STEM and programming, but I just want to know, you probably can't separate the fact that you got into some of the service work you've done in nonprofit because of Girl Scouts. It's funny that you end up at Girl Scouts, right? But like, was it a family thing, service work? What kind of drew you to our world, nonprofit, our sector?
I guess my mother was involved with some local community programs when I was growing up. And one of them in particular, I've always been a bit of a fashion hound, and my mom used to go to the annual fashion show. And if you sold enough tickets, you got your ticket in at no cost. So if I wanted to go, I was selling tickets.
Hustle. All right.
So I was not going to be kept from a fashion show. So I always sold my share so that I got to go with her. And I got to see women who kept community work at the heart of their home. So that was something that I think was ingrained in me as a kid. And then being part of Girl Scouts, being part of community service groups in high school and in college. And then when I came out of school and wasn't 100% sure which way I was going to go, if I was going to go back and go on for law school or start working. And I landed in a nonprofit organization, and it just sort of held me there because I had that realization of certain friends who after work, they were tired, they were putting in long hours to make their name, and they were trying to do community work because what they were doing during the day wasn't feeding them in here. And I was getting that I was getting that fill up every single day, knowing that whatever I was doing was benefiting someone in the community. And so that I realized that was my direction, and that's where I belonged.
Thank you for that share, because I'm telling you, this just happened to me last night. I was walking out of this event and I'm walking down like to get my car, and I'm like Park Avenue, like in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So if that frame of reference, that's an interesting, wealthy part of the town, everybody, if you don't know that area. So I'm walking around and I'm just like looking in the shops and things like, like there's not a lot of stores there, but there's like a gallery. I was looking in the window. It's late night. It's like late 10:30 last night. And I was just thinking, I was like, yeah, man, a lot of people who live up here, they probably maybe they work in finance, and they might probably have very good living. They're wealthy folks. And then, and then they maybe they're on a board or something like that of a nonprofit. And it just was just hitting me. And I'm going like, I live this stuff all day long. Like these folks sometimes like have to like, you work all your whole life. And then when you're later in life, you can maybe do the charity thing, right? Like, okay, in my retirement, I'm going to consult with nonprofits or whatever. And like, it's pretty cool that we hang out with these people who are making changes every day. And like, that's where we want to be. Like, you make a choice. You make a choice of who you want to surround yourself with. And like, I got to be honest, I don't know that when I said I wanted to spend so much time in nonprofit that I really understood like it would be what it is. But like, I dig this. Like everyone I talk to all day long is making an impact. Like,
yeah, that's what I love about what I do, because not only do I have the most remarkable team working at Girl Scouts, whether they're working with the troops or they're in our shops or they're working on product sales, which is our cookie and our nut program, the biggest entrepreneurial program led by young girls in the world. So we have a great team, but we have amazing volunteers as well, whether they're serving on the board or on a committee, or they're managing a troop, or they're working at our service unit level, which is like our school district level. They're giving remarkable amounts of time. And so for me, I get to work with people in the best place in their heart and soul. And so it's just such a rewarding experience for me to do what I do.
100%. And, I had this I have this battle internally about like how historically our sector has not been able to do the right thing by employees as much as we want to. and I don't like it. And I'm going to get on my soapbox, but I don't like that this is a thing, that this is okay. In other industries, it would not be okay that our people are not compensated at a high level. If you go to, right. So, and again, because of my business and we're in the employee benefits business, I'm in these conversations oftentimes with leaders of nonprofits, but it kind of like, I'm tired of the hat in hand thing. I'm tired of the charity angle of all nonprofits. These are social causes that need to be funded correctly, that need to be taken care of. I promise I'm stopping everybody. You don't want to hear me rant. We'll rant later on. Text me. I'll tell you all about how I feel about this. But the bottom line is, I think I know we need to make improvements in these areas. Other industries wouldn't, you wouldn't say, hey, we use such a tiny bit of our budget, right? But there's this whole thing with philanthropy and funders and grants and all this stuff. So you and I know a lot of this, and I talked to, but there needs to be changes. We need to see change in these types of things. I don't want to put you on the spot to make you have to answer from all the stuff I just said. It was something I felt like our people need to be taken care of better in this space.
We're trying to do our very best in that regard. If our folks are, they've been working on weekends and whatnot, at recruitment events and girl council events that are, designed to enrich with programs. I try and give them back a day because they do need to take care of their homes, and people have to food shop and they have to have a chance to catch their breath.
100%.
And so I try to keep that front of mind. Through COVID, we were closed, everybody was working remotely, and now obviously we're back in the buildings. But what we've done is we've instituted for all the positions that can be hybrid, for folks to be hybrid, whether they're full-time or part-time. So there's only a handful of positions that, by the nature of what they are, have to be at the property. But for those who can be hybrid, they choose whether they'd like to be. And if it gives them better work-life balance, then for me, I feel that that's helping to do our part in that regard too.
Yeah, I mean, benefit doesn't always necessarily have to translate to more money or higher benefit or something like that. It can translate to fringe, certain things. It can be
quality of life.
Yeah, man, that's what we have to have. We have to have quality of life. We're going to move on to something different for a second, but I could speak to you for hours about the things we were just talking about. I want you to tell me about camps. I want you to tell me about programs.
Sure. So our camps, a camp is one of our most amazing programs. We serve several hundred girls, and we are looking to expand it out next summer. It'll be a 9-week program as well. Our camp is one where you can come all summer long, or you can pick and choose the weeks that best work for your girl to go. It is an all-girl camp. We serve girls who are elementary school age. So once they've completed kindergarten, they are enrollable in our camp. We go up, we'll have CITs. So those are some of the older girls. We do trips, we have swimming. We are on the Sans Souci Lake at our Camp Edie property in Bayport. It's a beautiful camp. And we have wonderful activities. We incorporated yoga this summer to try and institute some of that mindfulness. We have trips for the girls. They're in pedal boats out on the lake, as well as, swimming and crafts. And we have theme weeks. So whether you're coming for the Harry Potter week, or other things like, other of our really popular, our STEM week, other themes are designed to draw girls with different interests, so that they're getting to experience camp in a really meaningful way. And we are a pretty reasonable camp, and we have scholarships for those who need them, so that again, if you are looking for a camp experience and the only thing standing in your way is cost, we work with those families with scholarships.
All right. So no girl or volunteers ever turned away from Girl Scouts. That's what I'm looking at on one of my notes for this. No girl. And I don't know if we can share it on the show, but we're going to go to break. But maybe you tell me when we get back if we could share it. But really, what it would cost to sponsor a girl for a year. Okay. So we'll talk about that when we come back, because you and I talked about it yesterday or the day before. So because to me, it's like, well, someone should do that. It's like, really? That's it? That's what it would cost? We'll talk about that when we come back. I want to talk about whatever you can speak to about this major campaign that might be going? Can we talk about that type of stuff? That campaign?
Sure.
Okay, good. I didn't know. Okay. So I want you to hit on that because the last part of the show is always, who do you need to meet? Who can we connect you with? What do you need? And what do you have coming up? So if there's events coming up, if there's a gala, if there's a campaign, as we might talk about, and then who can we connect you with? This show is called Philanthropy and Focus. I'm called Tommy D. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host a program, Philanthropy and Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
In a post-COVID world, you may have many unanswered questions regarding your health. Are you looking to live a healthier lifestyle? Do you have a desire to learn more about mental health and enhance your quality of life? Or do you just want to participate in self-understanding and awareness? I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each Thursday, I will tackle these questions and work to enlighten you. Tune in every Thursday at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will be frank about health to advocate for all of us.
Calling all pet lovers.
Pet Avengers, assemble!
On the Professionals and Animal Lovers show, we believe the bond between animal lovers is incredibly strong. It mirrors that bond between pets and their owners. Through this program, we come together to learn, educate, and advocate.
Join us live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. at talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
So I make the trip up every Friday morning. I climb up a couple flights of stairs to my attic to do this show called Philanthropy and Focus. And Focus, as you know by now, starts with a PH. That's because that's just what it is, man. I grew up in late 80s, 90s. We fat PHAT was something we used to say. That's fat, man. That's fat. And I like alliteration. So it's funny, when I was reading the background of this organization, it was a lot of C's. It was like character and commitment. And I was like, I meant to say it before. All right. So here's the thing. Before we jump into what's going on, what's upcoming, what do you need? How can we help? Three quick questions. Do you eat Girl Scout cookies, Tammy Severino?
If I'm not on a diet, yes, I'll have a cookie.
Let's pretend like that day, then the cookies. Okay. What is if you had to stack rank cookies, top three?
Okay, so if I have a cup of hot tea with me, it's a trefoil because I dunk.
Because you dunk. Now, trefoil is just that sour.
It's a simple shortbread cookie.
Shortbread, not sourdough.
If you want clean and classic, it's the shortbread cookie.
Got it. Okay.
I do love a Samoa. I have a sweet tooth.
Yeah. Those got me though. As my teeth got older, I had a problem because they're like chewy and sticky.
Yeah, because it's got caramel and coconut and chocolate. So that's a rockin' cookie to me. And then I do like the Do-si-dos, which are it's the other peanut butter cookie, not the one that you like with the chocolate.
Oh, it's like an Oreo.
It looks like an Oreo, but it's like peanut butter.
I like to break those apart.
So you get that whole Oreo break it apart effect.
Yep.
But so those are my three favorites, depending on my mood.
It's funny. I was talking to some folks the other day. Actually, probably was a gang I was shooting a video with about this show, and they're like, "Yo, Thin Mints, you got to go to Thin Mints." Like back in the day, there was not a lot of cookies. I don't know how. Do you know? Did you sell cookies? Did they sell cookies when they had them back? Okay, so were there only
easy on how far back that goes?
I stopped myself. I knew I was going the wrong direction. I said, "Put on the brakes." So you sold cookies. We'll just say.
Yes.
And what was the best seller? Was it Thin Mints, and is it still Thin Mints, you think?
Thin Mints is definitely a top seller. I think Thin Mints and Samoas are the two top sellers. Tag-alongs, though, people who love tags like you, they're hardcore.
Forget it. Seriously. I mean, I can leave them on the front seat of my car and go to, if I was driving out to Comac to visit you, they're empty from exit 39 out to Colmac. Boom, gone. Cookies disappeared.
We have, I mean, it's funny when I'll see on like the school, the mom's page for my kids, people after the sale, I'm looking for, and they'll rattle off exactly how many boxes of each one. And you see cookie moms from different troops tagged in that post. And you know that there's like clandestine cookie swapping going on. But that's part of the, that's part of how the parents are helping, but it's really designed for the girls to sell. When my daughter's troop was selling, they got out there in front of the table at their booth sales, and they pitched it out to whether it was a grandparent or parents or some just a person walking along telling them, oh, what kind of cookies do you like? Well, we have these.
Hey, listen, man, no better skill set than learning to connect with people and sell, right? Totally. Now, I want you to answer all the other questions. But I want to do one quick funny thing. Melissa McCarthy in that movie. Do you remember? Did you see that movie where she was selling cookies?
Yeah.
She was like a badass business lady, and
then she ended up a troop leader.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think they were Girl Scouts. They probably called them something else, but it was. We knew what they were doing. All right, I don't know the name of that movie. I'll find it maybe for you. Mick Collins, Melissa McCarthy cookie movie. Let us know what it is. Put it on Facebook. I know I can count on Mick. All right, so what's upcoming? Talk to me about STEM.
Sure.
Take it away.
So at our Yaphank camp, Camp Sebago, we have the Discovery World STEM Center. And through COVID, that camp has been closed. We are looking to renovate the camp property, but we're doing some repairs and things from just being closed for a little bit so that the STEM Center reopens. And we are really excited. We just found out this week, we were looking for roughly $200,000 to bring more state-of-the-art equipment back into the building and to expand it out in different ways, new technologies that girls have expressed interest in or that we know are careers of the future. So giving them the opportunity to touch and feel and work with. And we have received 50% as a matching grant. So we have to raise $100,000. And this foundation will match us dollar for dollar to $100,000 and give us the funds that we need. It's not just the STEM Center. Our STEM Center is on one level, but our downstairs, we're going to create an arts center so that girls are learning arts that they can learn to connect the dots between that art piece and a career. So graphic design, video editing, sculpting and pottery and potting, the potter's wheels.
Yeah. All right, so I got to pause right now because Nyrika, you know where I'm going. I sit on the board of Spirit of Huntington Art Center. We need to get you out there, Tammy Severino, to come for a visit. We'll meet with Michael and Diane and Team of Spirit. I mean, they have an incredible artworks program for individuals who have aged out of school with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I was just telling the story last night because I ran into a woman who used to own an art gallery in New York City. And I'm like, man, if we focused on all the things I sucked at, people would say I had different needs, right? But because I suck at most things, but there's like 3 or 4 things like I'm like a champion at, right? So why the hell don't we just focus more on what people are good at and stop focusing on what people are deficient in? So that is my call.
You need to reach Strength Finders 2.0. That's their whole concept. That these are your 5 core strengths. Don't pour up what you're weak at. Focus on what you're strong at so you can be excellent at it.
And it's so funny.
I agree with it.
And it's because like I remember growing up working at ADP and they were like, you have to work your bank channel, your CPA channel, your clients, prospecting. And if you were not good at something, they said, focus on the thing you're not good at. That's dumb. Now that's it's more than that. It's probably 18 years ago now. But that was like a thing. That was like a mentality. Like, no, don't actually focus on that. You're really good and you're in the flow doing this. Go do that. My point is, there's a young man from Best Buddies who now works for the NFL. He has intellectual developmental disabilities. He's a statistician for the National Football League, and he does incredible work. That is his thing. That's his mojo. That's where he flows. So you and Nyrika and I are going to go out to Spirit of Huntington because we've got to talk art because that leans into the STEM that you're talking about. The movie is The Boss. I knew I could depend on Collins. It's The Boss with Melissa McCarthy. I'm going to watch it this weekend because she makes me laugh a lot. So, all right. So what about events?
Okay,
First-
so
first
events,
before
we have
that,
our
the
holiday
100,000.
light show.
The 100,000, how do they get to us with that?
Oh, so for the 100,000, the best way is give us a call, ask for Nyrekia, 631-543-6622, ask for Nyrekia White, or ask for me. And I'll get on the phone with you. If there's a particular area, if someone wants to underwrite a piece that's in mathematics, or they want to underwrite the computers that the girls will use, they want to underwrite a particular piece of technology or a different space, like the engineering or the math piece of it, that's fine. So we want to meet people in a way that their give is going to be most enriching for them too. If it's something within the arts, we can talk about that as well. And we're going to craft a real state-of-the-art place that girls can come with their troops, that programs will run council-wide on weekends and in evenings, and that we might even be able to get some schools in, so that we're bringing this, we're making it accessible to kids who are otherwise in more economically disadvantaged communities and don't have that fingertip readiness to this kind of technology, this kind of arts, and that's going to be what brings them to a different place in their adult life, is education, and then being able to get into those
access too.
Access.
All right, hit me. We got 1 minute left. Hit me with the light show.
Holiday Light Show. It's our largest fundraiser of the year. We're at Smith Point Park. We are there from the Saturday following Thanksgiving all the way till the 30th of December. It is a 1 mile light display, and new this year at South Haven Park, just a few moments away. We have a walkthrough Enchanted Forest. Take pictures with Santa until the holiday, and then we'll have someone else there for photos. You can get s'mores. There's a huge fire pit, life-size games. You can get food and have a picnic there. It's going to be a wonderful lighted experience, really designed for families, for friends to come, and it may be cold out, but your heart will be warm from the experience.
I don't like being cold, so I'll be bundled up, but I will be there.
Then you can go through the drive-through.
I'll definitely go do it. I like a drive-through. All right, Tammy, give us one more time the website and the 631 number.
Okay, so it's www.gssc.us is our website, and 631-543-6622. And thank you so much, Tommy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship. I am excited to go to the light show. I'm excited to, again, it's not just about cookies, but I am like a cookie monster. So I'm excited that cookies will be here soon. When do cookies start? When do we sell them?
Cookies start at the top of the year. Right now, we just kicked off our fall product sale. So we have magazines, we have nuts, chocolates, all kinds of goodies like that.
I like chocolates as well, so we have to get that. All right, we do have to leave it there, but I want to say this. Nyrekia is telling me we're also planning to welcome specialists that facilitate programs at the STEM Center. So if you're in IT, if you can train people, come out, do that, connect with Girl Scouts. Also, 18,000 vehicles came to the light show last year. Let me know when they're not all going to be there, because I would like to drive through.
Obviously, weekends are busier, but so come during the week if you prefer.
Tammy, thank you. Everybody, thank you so much. This
you.
show's Philanthropy and Focus.
So appreciate it.
Make it a great day. I'll see you guys later on. Thanks, Tammy. Bye.
Bye.